What if the rise of China is not a surprise at all, but a return? What if the world we know today is not witnessing the birth of a new power, but the awakening of an ancient one? For thousands of years, China was not just another civilization. It was the civilization, the center of gravity of the world. So here's the emotional question we must ask ourselves. Is China simply reclaiming what history once made inevitable? Or is the world standing at the edge of a geopolitical reckoning it cannot control? To understand China's geopolitics, we must begin with geography, because in China's case, geography is destiny. China sits at the eastern edge of the Eurasian landmass, bordered by some of the most challenging terrains on Earth. Frozen Siberia to the north, towering Himalayan peaks to the southwest, vast deserts to the west, and the Pacific Ocean to the east. At the heart of this vast space lies the Han Core, the fertile plains nourished by three legendary rivers, the Yellow. These rivers are not just waterways. They are the arteries of civilization. For thousands of years, they allowed China to feed massive populations, move goods internally, and sustain political unity. Few regions on Earth possess such a combination of fertility, navigability, and scale. This natural advantage created what geopoliticians call a centripetal force, a pull toward unity. Even when China fractured, geography always pushed it back together. Yet this fertile core was surrounded by danger. Nomadic powers from the northern steppes posed an existential threat for nearly 2 millennia. This is why Chinese geopolitics was never naive. The Great Wall was not a symbol of isolation. It was part of a layered strategy combining diplomacy, punitive expeditions, buffer zones, and cultural absorption. China didn't simply defend, it managed threats. Over time, China expanded outward, absorbing strategic regions like Xinjiang, Tibet, and Inner Mongolia. These territories were not conquered randomly. They served as buffers, shock absorbers, protecting the Han Core from Central Asia, South Asia, and Siberia. Even today, these regions define China's security logic. But the real shock to Chinese civilization did not come from land. It came from the sea. For thousands of years, China dominated its maritime surroundings with little resistance. That illusion shattered in the 19th century with the arrival of European naval powers. The Opium Wars were not just military defeats, they were civilizational trauma. China went from the richest empire in human history to a shattered society plagued by addiction, rebellion, and humiliation. The century of humiliation nearly destroyed China, yet China did not disappear. Instead, it adapted, slowly, painfully, but decisively. After civil war, invasion, revolution, and ideological chaos, the People's Republic of China emerged unified once again around its ancient geopolitical core. From that moment forward, Beijing pursued one overriding objective: never again be vulnerable. This explains everything that followed. The consolidation of Tibet and Xinjiang secured China's land borders. The partnership with Pakistan created access to the Indian Ocean. Cooperation with Russia stabilized the north. Engagement with Central Asia reopened ancient Silk Road routes. And massive investment in naval power shifted China's focus back to the seas, this time prepared. Today, China faces a maritime containment strategy led by the United States, stretching from Japan to Australia. Choke points like the Strait of Malacca, Hormuz, and the South China Sea represent potential strangulation points for China's economy. The response? The Belt and Road Initiative, a modern land-based empire of railways, pipelines, ports, and influence designed to bypass maritime vulnerability. And then there is Taiwan, geographically small, strategically massive, Taiwan sits like a lock on China's front door. In Beijing's eyes, reunification is not ideology, it is geography. Without Taiwan, China's coastal defense remains exposed. With Taiwan, China gains strategic depth, naval freedom, and regional dominance. But time is not infinite. China's greatest challenge is not foreign, it is demographic. An aging population, shrinking workforce, and declining birth rates threaten long-term power. This is why many analysts believe China's window of opportunity lies between 2020 and 2040. Act now, or lose momentum forever. Outro. So we return to the question we began with. Is China rising or remembering who it once was? Is this the emergence of a new world order or the restoration of an ancient one? What is certain is this: China is no longer on the margins of global power. It is one of the gravitational centers shaping the future of geopolitics. Whether that future leads to balance, rivalry, or confrontation will define the 21st century. Thank you for watching. If you value deep analysis of geopolitics, history, and global power, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. This is Global Brief, and I'll see you in the next one.